The Amazing World of Gumball. On the surface, it seems like a simple kids show. Nothing could be farther from the truth. This show has so much effort put into it. However, beneath all this, there is an intricate storyline that's managed to get past all of us. I've gathered together the puzzle pieces laid out over the 6 seasons of the show, and have developed my interpretation of the lore contained within. The Gumball movie has been confirmed, so some of this might be obsolete after that. I might make an update video after it comes out. There's a lot of new information. Anyway, let's dive straight into this. It's gonna be a wild ride. Hey guys, this is the Omniverse, the place where we make videos about everything. Please like and subscribe to support a small channel that tries to upload quality content. Enjoy the video. To understand the amazing world of Gumball, you need to know 2 things: the multiverse and the void. The multiverse is a group of multiple, probably infinite amount of parallel universes. Each and every one of them is unique. The characters in the show are all from different universes, which is why they look so unique. This is actually confirmed by Ben Vocallet, the creator of the show. He said that the original premise for Gumball is a school for rejected cartoon characters all from different shows, aka different universes. Elmore is where the multiverse meets, the in-between. The void contains all the mistakes of the multiverse. This is not just the universe, it is a separate dimension entirely. It has a creepy ambiance and TV static as a background. When something is sent to the void, all traces of it are erased from the world. Also, you can access the void from any universe if you wanted to. It's the other in-between. Besides Elmore, it's the one thing all universes are connected to. The void is also sentient and wants to keep its existence secret. Different people from separate universes had their memory wiped and were sent to the in-between by a group I'll call the Creators. The Creators wanted to create a simulation for unknown purposes. They were also very money hungry. Their universe had direct linkage to the in-between, every universe did, so they chose it for the place of their simulation. The in-between was also a loop. The Creators then built a device meant to control the loop at their own will. Whenever they used the device, reality would reset to its status quo. The people in the simulation made a town called Elmore and built lives for themselves. Due to the world containing so many different and unique people, Elmore turned out to be very interesting, amazing even. Also, Elmore does not exist by itself. It is part of an Earth, which is also part of a solar system. It's just that most of the action happens in Elmore, which is why every episode is based in it. And that's when it hit with the Creators. They could create a TV show out of Elmore, and well, yes, Elmore is a TV show inside a TV show. With the Creators' insane technology, they changed Elmore to form many families and changed the families to look similar to another. Every TV show needs a protagonist. The Creators chose Gumball and Darwin Watterson for the quirky personalities. Now, before we move on, I want to clear up some confusion. The characters inside the simulation can think and do stuff on their own, but the Creators can mind control them as well. This is why most episodes only focus on the same characters, as these are the ones the Creators are using to produce content. Also, the episodes that we watch are not always episodes that the Creators produce. Sometimes they're just things that happen without the Creators filming. For the purposes of the storyline, think of the actual real-life episodes as just a window peeking into the simulation, not a TV show. Due to the show revolving around Gumball, it was called The Amazing World of Gumball. Production of the show began, and it quickly became popular. After every episode, the magic device reset Elmore back to normal. Now, the Creators were very careful regarding the simulation. If the characters knew that they were in a TV show, then they might rise up and refuse to be pawns for the Creators. This would end the show and end all profits. The void was a metaphor for irrelevance. No TV show wants to fall into irrelevance, so the Creators were quick to update Elmore multiple times to fight off the void. The most dramatic example of this is between Season 1 and Season 2. The physical appearance of Elmore and his characters were completely revamped, and the style of humor used was well. Richard, the lazy, unemployed father of the family, finally gets a job. The boy thought this was a mistake and tried to fix it instead of deleting it. However, it failed and reality started glitching out. The void was following Richard, altering everything in its path. The rest of the Wattersons noticed this and tried to get him fired, fixing reality. They eventually accomplished that. Everything ended well for now. After that, all was going well until the finale of Season 2. Throughout the episode, the residents of Elmore somewhat realized they were in a TV show. In this episode, actions that the Wattersons had done in past episodes had consequences, even though reality was reset. In the beginning, they were looking at old photos and acknowledging that they looked different from the past, referencing the design change from Seasons 1 to 2. Richard said that he was sentenced to prison multiple times for the outlandish things he's done over the episodes, but he's suddenly not there anymore. We just talked about the change back to the default state between episodes. Also, Doran says the house went back to normal 20 minutes after it was irreparably water damaging the responsible. By the end, an angry mob breaks into their house and tries to kill the Wattersons. The last line of the episode is Gumball saying, "The only thing that can save us is reality being completely reset by some kind of magic device," directly referencing the device used to reset Elmore back to normal. While he says that, the episode abruptly ends because Elmore had spiraled out of control. The creators needed to use the magic device, even though they weren't making an episode. The events of the finale raised a red flag for the creators. Somehow, everyone could remember what had happened, even though after they used the magic device, their memory should be reset. For once, they had let the residents for Elmore think for themselves, and they had already broken the fourth wall. In the future, there could be no mess-ups. Right after this, Elmore was updated again, and the creators even changed Gumball and Darwin's voices due to them maturing. Right after that, a superfan of the show named Sarah asked the creators if she could be in it, and she was added as an ice cream cone. The fact that Elmore is a TV show finally solves the mystery of how she knows the theme song. The void had reached Elmore. This is in Season 3, which is right after the finale. The finale, of course, could be interpreted as the actual finale of the show, and after the end of any show, it will usually fall into irrelevance. Anyway, in the void, Gumball, Doran, and Mr. Small wear tinfoil hats, cutting off the creators' mind control powers. They realized that things and people were suddenly erased from the world. Through investigating this, they discover the void. When they get back, they say they must inform the rest of Elmore about the discoveries regarding the void, but the void takes away their tinfoil hats and forget what happened. The creators were getting worried. Nothing bad had happened, sure, but we couldn't let the characters inside the loop get too intelligent. The money was the last episode of Season 3. The Wattersons lose all their money and Elmore falls apart in the process. What really happened was that the losers were losing money, and production quality dropped. Because the creators could not maintain Elmore, it deconstructed. Eventually, they were literally reduced to holding a camera over the storyboard, since they did not have money to do anything with Elmore. To get funding, they had to sell their company to someone else. However, beneath the creators' knowledge, there was one person who was already aware of their reality: Rob. Let's backtrack a little. In the beginning, Rob looked like this. He was generally pretty kind, but he served no purpose in the world. Because of this, he was sent to the void. During the void, Rob managed to escape but was left horribly disfigured. He became somewhat depressed and hid inside the Wattersons' basement. When Gumball and Doran find him in the Nobody, they try to figure out what role he should play in Elmore and say that he should be a villain. After this, Rob tries to set up traps for Gumball and Doran, and the rivalry makes some pretty interesting events happen. However, Rob didn't really care about being a nemesis. It was all just a distraction for the creators. During Rob's time in the void, he somehow figured out everything. He wasn't just hinting at knowing the truth like the creators in the finale. He knew everything about his own reality. It's unknown what Rob's true intentions are, but the one thing we do know is that he's against the creators, at least in the beginning. We'll get back to Rob later. The creators had somehow realized that someone else was watching the loop. Us. Using their technology, the creators try to cut off the connection between our universe and the in-between, but this backfired. They ended up damaging the loop. Characters, things, and places were all glitching out and merging with other realities. By the end of this craziness, Gumball and Darwin realized that they were in the TV show. This is the first time that they had directly said that. However, right after that, the creators fixed the problem and used the device, resetting everything. That was close. Reality was saved, but the creators' mission was unsuccessful. We could still look into Elmore. The Void thought that the Universal Remote was a mistake, since it controlled sentient characters in unethical ways. The Void consumed it, and it ended up warping to Elmore. The Awesome Store guy found it and thought it was cool, not knowing its full capabilities. He sold it for $12 to Rob, who used it to gain full power over the universe. He said that he wanted to use it for revenge against Gumball, which is true. However, this wasn't because he was his supposed nemesis. He wanted to get rid of Gumball so the show would end, so he could continue gaining power without the intervention of the creators. During the episode, Rob destroys Gumball's life using the remote. After everyone in Gumball's life is ripped apart from him, they have a face-off. Rob tries to tell Gumball that Elmore isn't real, but he doesn't understand. Rob throws the remote into the void, and since that remote's the only way Gumball can save everyone he loves, he goes after it. Rob then traps him in the void. The creators then attempted to reset reality, but failed. Gumball was in the void, so for some reason it wouldn't work. Gumball rewinds time back to the status quo, the first time that a character in the show has done that. After that, the whole thing happens again. The events cause Gumball to be slowly erased. Rob was about to kill Gumball, but he ends up saving him. He goes back in time and fixes everything. That really could have been bad. Rob had the powers of the creators with the remote and could have rised up. However, nothing bad happened. It was all fixed by Rob. Gumball finds out after that Rob was nemesising Banana Joe. This was to get close to Banana Barbara, who could paint the future, but I'll get to that later. It's Gumball and Darwin's day off. No matter what happens, they won't do anything. Well, this is problematic. The creators try to make them create an episode, but they wouldn't budge. The creators then sent a meteor towards Elmore, created a highly contagious virus, got them married to a princess alien, and then they became heroes. But they didn't care. They just tuned it out, and then back to normal. So basically, the creators were trying to get content, but since their content didn't want to make content today, no content was made. And do you know what happens when you don't make content? The content that other people stops mentioning your content, and your content follows into a reference. The universe, aka the creators, was trying everything to get them to do something. They altered reality, tried to get Gumball and Darwin to stop loafing around. However, they wouldn't budge. They would not be content today. What happened after this is really confusing, but try to hang on. For the first time ever, Elmore was consumed by the void. The creators were extremely panicked, because if they didn't do something quick, this would be the end for Elmore. And it worked. They made a one-use device and warded off the void. But Gumball and Darwin didn't notice. They were still on the couch doing nothing. The creators pulled their last resort. They had the rest of the Watersons hanging off the cliff, and made sure that Gumball and Darwin were aware of this. They take the decision to save them, but do it in the least efficient way possible. They eventually save them and go back home. When they arrive, they veg out again, when they get a supernatural message from the creators.
Better get on with it. This is a message from the future. Strange things that happened today were for a reason, and it was all the work of... Oh my
The creators were so mad with Gumball and Darwin that they almost gave away the knowledge of their existence. When Elmore was sent to the void in the wedging, Rob was getting worried. He needed more information about the future, and what better way to know the future than to kidnap the banana that can draw it? Carrying out his plan from the X, Rob kidnaps Banana Barbara and forces her to paint the future, but she just paints static. Where have you seen static before? The void. Gumball, Darwin, and Banana Joe go and try to save her and alter reality through Barbara's paintings. They end up erasing Rob from existence. Then Barbara drops him back into reality in the void. After escaping from the void, Rob was extremely worried about Elmore. He was hoping it wouldn't have to come to this, but the stakes were too high. He disguised himself as the school superintendent and began transforming everyone into a human. This was to make the Void think Elmore was normal, not a mistake. However, Gumball and Doran do not like this and transform the peers back to their cartoonish state. It is revealed that the superintendent was Rob, and he tries to explain what was happening with Elmore. However, he can't explain himself because they end up beating him up. Hours later, he regains consciousness when the Void engulfs Elmore once again. This time, the creators could not resurrect Elmore. Elmore was gone. We can only speculate about what happened next. The movie will definitely give us information about that, so I'm gonna wait for that and then make a follow-up video. In the meantime, give your theories down in the comments. The Amazing World of Gumball is truly amazing. They couldn't make half-baked episodes like most of the shows in the kids' TV industry, but they chose to go above and beyond. It has so many layers, and someone will find anything that they enjoy in it. I really enjoyed making this video. It took ages to script and edit. I hope that you like this video, and if so, please like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. Thank you for watching this video, and goodbye. I'll see you in the next one.